Let's imagine you have around 535,000 euros or dollars to spare to buy a vehicle. What about this one, the Rolls-Royce Spectre? In this review here, with Tomas, we're going to find out electric and Rolls-Royce. Follow me on this tour with the driving part in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go with the widest front grille for a Rolls-Royce ever. In our initial review, people couldn't believe that actually, but it is true. It has never been that wide. Usually they are also then a little bit higher. Maybe therefore they appear more prominent, but it is indeed very wide. And also it has this aerodynamic performance. You can see here, these fins go that way, these go this way. This is also enhanced. Even the Spirit of Ecstasy, she has been enhanced. That is a little bit more aerodynamic actually. Disappears when you close the vehicle. The headlamps are split. There's also some traditional design thing here. The daytime running light in the top part, the main headlamp unit in the lower part, and this purple vehicle color. You can get it actually for the whole vehicle, but you can also get it in this special so-called Allure trim. It's like a pre-spec, and then it has these silver inlets here. Turning indicators here, replacing the daytime running light in the top bar. That looks quite cool, doesn't it? This color here, by the way, called Twilight Purple. That's the correct color name. As for the wheels, they also carry the Twilight Purple vehicle color. That's cool. And of course, the Rolls-Royce logo always stays upright. These here are winter tires with 22-inch wheels. But usually you can get up to 23-inch wheels. Also the largest wheels that are ever built yet in a Rolls-Royce. And also the largest ever doors, 1.5 meters. And you'll also see it soon when we go to the interior here. Suicide opening. This will be very spectacular. More of that very soon here. Electric closing as well. The length is 5 meters 45 or 215 inches. And you can see this really stretched shape. And it's basically replacing the Phantom Coupe in a way. Rear axle steering you also get with this one. It means that the rear wheels turn in the opposite direction than the front wheels. So it's kind of faking a shorter wheelbase for a better maneuverability. Does it have a frunk or not? Considering this large long hood, it needs to have a frunk, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. It has a nice badge here though. And when I look underneath this cover here, there is some space, so I'm not sure. Maybe they thought like, hey, as a Rolls-Royce owner, you should not put the cable out yourself. I'm not sure what's the philosophy behind it. I would have put a frunk in that one, definitely. Would you? Tell me in the comments. What's interesting here is that you can see this mechanism, how the Spirit of Ecstasy, is basically hidden here. Towards the rear, we can see these vertical tail lights, and they only appear red when the vehicle is on. Otherwise, it's all the way transparent. And you can see here the turning indicators or hazard lights. They also then appear in the middle. Acceleration figures, 4.5 seconds to 1 kilometers an hour or 6 miles an hour. Of course, we do a test of that today. More than 580 horsepower. So it's a very powerful vehicle. How does it bring it the one to the road? All-wheel drive means one electric motor in the rear, one electric motor in the front. And we'll also talk about efficiency. Well, the CD value is 0.25. That's really decent and the best, of course, so far for a Rolls-Royce. But we'll see how much energy we will consume with that very soon. Can you actually fit something in the trunk? Now, let's take a look right here. Well, for some luggage, does fit. This here, 1 meter or 40 inches, and you can see here between the wheel arches, it's okay. Then it's getting a little bit slimmer. Let's take a look at that. So I have some backpacks behind it, and you can see here the width then between this, more narrow is about like 80 centimeters or 31 inches, and the total length is actually quite decent. This is like 115 in meters or 45 inches. So this is the full extent. You cannot fold the seats, and underneath here, there is then the space for your charging cable. Oh, and look at that here. That's a cool feature. Here, this way, it folds down, but then when you put it all the way up, like this, there's a magnet that's holding this one here in place. That's a cool feature. I would love to see that one also in other electric vehicles. Well, and this is supposed to be the largest charging flap we know around. And that's a nice cover here. AC-DC charging. 195 kilowatt is the peak. And 10 to 80% state of charge in an optimum case, 34 minutes. Battery size, 102 kilowatt hours net. And the average consumption we can score, I can already tell you that right now, is around 27 kilowatt hours on 100 kilometers. That's 2.3 miles per kilowatt hour, meaning with this capacity here, real world range something around 400 kilometers or 250 miles, a little bit better in summer, a little bit worse in winter time. Key fob here, top part, this triangle to open, Rolls-Royce logo to close, and then question of today, this stop button, so to speak. When I press this one, when I press the stop button here, there we go. This is the opening of the trunk, the remote one from the key fob. Ta-da! Welcome to your driver's seat here. Actually, it looks like you would be entering like a being chauffeured sedan, but this is your driver's seat here. Of course, and for the right-hand drive markets on the other side. Yeah, but it always looks so special. There you can see this is 1.5 meters long door, the largest door they used ever so far. Wow! And they also used the color combination reflecting inside and outside. That's also pretty impressive. As for opening and closing door, it's really interesting. So I can press here the outside button. Is it capacitive? Maybe it doesn't work with the glove. There we go. So that's the way the door closes automatically. Opening it is rather manual. You also have, this feedback right here. Now, of course, also when you, manual close it like this, you here have the soft close then. Needs to be there for the Rolls-Royce, doesn't it? There are also other ways to close the door. I can also show that to you. So I get inside. Shoe tap, if it makes sense today. So I just hit the brake actually. And when I hit the brake, we know it from Tesla, for example, then the door is closing. I can also stop it in between or then complete the process like this. Here then with 189, 6'2", still a lot of headroom left. And this beautiful star ceiling there. Wow. That's amazing. You can also tune it down, and I hope to get some shots at the darkness for the a little bit more spiced up life. You can see here this is like a 2+2 seater concept. So when I'm sitting right here or Leah's here on the passenger seat, there's not much space left for the rear seats. Nevertheless, we will test it very soon. First look here at the interior. I love that matte wood inlet here. That is beautiful. And also these analog elements here. Look at that. When I push them down or pull them out, this is, this retro styling, but being transformed actually into modern life with this, infotainment system, digital instruments. You can see here, that is kind of astonishing in a way, that the infotainment system is rather straight. If you sit here at the driver's seat, you almost have the feeling that it leans towards the passenger, whereas in most vehicles nowadays, the infotainment system is more leaning towards the driver. I just need to repeat this. Beautiful. Look at that, how the switchgear stall column here. You have to use this step mechanism, It's also this very traditional way of doing that, transported here into an electric vehicle. Not necessary, but maybe wanted. On the steering wheel, you have real buttons still. Instruments are all digital, so here when I turn on the vehicle, looks like this. I also love how you adjust here the lights and so on, daytime lights and auto, and just listen to that. Yeah, this gives you this retro feeling. Climate unit, also classic style. Here all manual control, warmer and colder, different zones. So this is basically for the existing Rolls-Royce customers that they don't have to learn something new. This is here the seat heating. And can we have this ASMR moment together? Same goes for the lower parts, and we have some cup holders underneath. You can also control the infotainment system from below, and these are some hotkeys all around. This area here is also heated. That's really fancy. Then turning it up, we have some space underneath for smartphones, 2 USB-C chargers. And then this front cubby hole is kind of astonishing because it's super tiny, not supposed to, what's going on there? infotainment system. It is this BMW system. You can see it right here because you have the same app view. You can control it from below, but it is also a touchscreen, so both is possible. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, both available. Here is then that direct hotkey to go to the... What the hell? So many calls? Yeah, that's always when I'm shooting. So then let's go back here. And what is interesting is always to see the drive settings. Like here, drive assistance. Here you can also deactivate the speed warning. Here you can actually activate or deactivate the artificial sound. Not needed, but you can use it, of course. Most of the time you use the smartphone mirroring, I guess. And we still have an analog clock here next to the infotainment system. Here, by the way, you can turn on and off that star ceiling. And you can also dim the stars here a little bit darker. Oh, cooler, of course, when it's brighter. They are lighter up. Actually, you can also sometimes see shooting stars. So Leah did discover some shooting stars already, but she's still looking out for some more. It is actually like a random pattern, I heard. Sometimes they are there, sometimes not. Well, if you didn't see a shooting star yet, at least you saw Leah, right? Yeah, she is definitely the shooting star. And then here I can pull this lever, slide this seat forward, and it goes automatically a little bit in the front. Yeah, and for the rear, oh,